Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record. All right, you may proceed.
Miss Garza, how do you know Michael?
He's my fiance.
And where do you live? Do you live here in San Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do you live with?
And I'm only staying with my mom.
Who lives with you?
Me, my mom, and my two stepsons.
So you have two stepsons?
Yeah.
And do you and Michael have any children together, biological?
No, ma'am.
And just what are their ages?
One's 12 and the other one's 8.
And you are the kids were staying with you. Was that due to Michael not being able to live in the home with you and the children?
Yes, ma'am. He wasn't able to stay there.
And is it your understanding that that was a court order when he was sentenced? And you are caring for his children, and do you plan to get married?
Yes.
Do you have a date or?
No, right now I just got the paper for him to sign because he's not able to be there, not to an absent affidavit.
Like a marriage by proxy, or is that what you're talking about? Like getting married without him being present?
Or if it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, just in case whatever the court rules today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you asking the judge to continue him on his deferred?
Yes, actually, I am.
And was he a good provider to you and his children?
Yes, he was.
And
What he's the only provider. Just I gotta stay at home and I make sure the kids are okay, so they go to school. He's the only one.
and is there anything else that you want the judge to know that you've not already told them?
Just I know that his boy's missing and they want him home.
And his children are present, but not in the courtroom. Is that correct? I'll pass the witness.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was that?
Priscilla Garza.
Priscilla Garza. Okay, and so how long have you been in a relationship with the defendant?
9 years.
9 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So you all were in a relationship with each other when this actual deadly weapon occurred?
Yes.
Okay. And so then you all were also in a relationship when he was placed on probation in April of 2025, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when he was granted probation, originally, were you aware that he had a condition of an electronic leg monitoring device?
When he was staying at his grandparents, yes.
Okay. And then at some point that GPS device was removed. Are you aware of that?
Yes, his probation officer asked for it to be removed.
Okay. And then after it was removed, were you aware that the probation department never heard from him again? Okay. Was he living with you?
No, he wasn't allowed to stay with me and the boys.
Okay. So where was he living?
But the address at 318 Los Angeles.
Okay. And who else lives at 318 Los Angeles?
His grandfather, his uncle.
And were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location? And the people that lived there said that the defendant was no longer living there?
I'm going to object to hearsay.
All right, that'll be sustained.
Okay. Were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location?
Your Honor, the fact's not in evidence at this time.
All right, that'll
We're
be
going to
over-
object and also
that'll be-
to hearsay.
that'll be overruled.
Were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location?
No.
And were you aware that the probation office was unable to contact them there at that location?
Well, I
I'm
know he
objecting.
was.
All
Also,
right, that'll be overruled.
Well, I know most of the time when they did go, he was at work. Because he did work, because that was one of his conditions on his probation.
Where was he working?
He was working for a painting company.
Okay. And so I guess you were unable to have contact with him as a condition of probation, or just
He would just call and he'll visit the boys, but I know he was supposed to be under supervision. to visit the boys, but he never, sometimes he did, but I was there, but sometimes he didn't, because he always worked. He, like I said, he's the main provider for me and his boys. So
And
he's always working.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but the children, they're his biological children, but you're just taking care of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that he's the only provider, so you don't have anything.
I don't have employment.
Okay. And so if you're asking this court for him to stay on, and he has not been reporting, like, what facts are you relying on to ask the court to continue with him?
Well, the fact is, y'all are asking him to work. So if he's supposed to work and he's not supposed to be there at the house when they go do a field visit or whatever, how is that supposed to even be possible? Because sometimes they do pop-ups and he's at work.
Okay, well, that's why there are multiple conditions in place. So are you aware that he was also supposed to report to the probation office?
And he would,
And a violation that he's pled true to is that he was not reporting
before, when he first got on it, he was reporting.
when
After
he
that,
had the ankle monitor on, correct?
no.
Yes. And once the ankle monitor was removed, he pled true to not reporting to probation.
Okay, well, I'm not aware of that because he wasn't staying with me.
Okay, and so you're asking this court, even though you have no facts in how he's performed on probation, you're coming up here and asking this court to continue.
Well, he does have 2 kids that he needs to help me take care of. There's 2 boys. You try raising 2 boys on your own. When I'm not the biological mom, I'm the stepmom.
All right. Don't you think the appropriate time for him to think of his 2 children was when he was stabbing someone, not when he's on probation?
Can I please leave?
No, dear, you cannot. Your Honor, I believe that that's a harassing question.
Is there a legal objection?
And yes, Your Honor, that it's not relevant or material, and it is harassing
With
the
regards
witness.
to relevancy, the court will sustain the objection.
Cross the witness, yeah.
All right, any further questions?
No further
All right,
questions.
thank you so much for coming in. Call your next witness.
I'll call my client.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Michael Anthony Foss.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Foss, before you were putting on deferred, you got custody of your children, correct?
Long before,
About a year before,
way more.
2 years before?
than
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, your mother of your children had custody, and then CPS got involved, and then you,
I object to leaving.
Sustained.
so, tell me how you got custody of your children.
I got custody of the children, fighting for them for about more than about 8 months. While I was doing federal probation, federal classes, at the same time doing state classes and state UAs, I believe is what they said. And they were coexisting with my federal PO at the same time. And I found, and then the judge who, I believe, I don't know the proper name, for the kids, I guess for CPS, that judge at that time in CPS, the state found fit after all my certificates while I was wrestling with federal probations and state agencies at the same time, while working a full-time job, supporting my kids. That they found that I was fit to be the father, and they found fit to terminate the rights of their biological mother.
And, so you have custody, you have your fiance, and, how many households were you supporting after you got on this deferred in April of 2025?
Okay, when I moved in with my grandparents and my uncle, my grandfather's house, I'm sorry, my grandmother passed away. When I moved there, of course, I'm not gonna take advantage of my family, so I'm paying rent there, about $450, $500 a month. I'm still supporting my kids because that was one of the stipulations, support to dependents. So I'm paying about $300, $400 there for them. Then I'm paying my cell phone bill. Then I'm paying UAs when I go take the test. I gotta pay for the parenting class, $85 off the rip.
Mhm.
I did 5 out of 10 classes, hostility classes. The only reason I didn't do the other 5, man, I really tried to knock it out, and I realized that we couldn't do the other 5, it's because the other 5, they wanted to do them as a, one-on-one, I believe it was. And he said he was gonna call me, but I told him I had to go to work, because all these places, and that's not including my food that I was eating on the
Right,
day.
so here's the thing. The state recommended that you have deferred. What I want to know is, you pled true to violation of condition number 2. So I wanted to know why you missed drug testing. You pled true to violation for condition number 4. So I want to know why you missed reporting.
Simple fact, miss, I wasn't paying my restitution, what did it constitute, the $4,000 that I had to pay.
Mhm.
I'm paying 2,000 when I filed my taxes, and I told Mr.
But what does that mean about the not taking UAs? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why were you not taking your UAs?
When I stopped reporting, ma'am, I didn't go take the UAs run, because I was afraid that I was gonna get arrested, because he was getting on my butt about.
Okay, do I not tell everybody if there's an issue with probation? If you have an issue, let probation know about it, and if they're not addressing it, you can come and address it with the court.
See, yes, ma'am, and that,
So why didn't you do that?
my assuming, it's plain and simple, my stupidity assuming, ma'am, I'm not gonna make an excuse. I assume, because it's never been, this is the only state thing. In federal, when they tell you you don't do it, it's bye. No ifs, ands, or buts, man. And I was scared. And I was just literally trying to buy time to pay this whole freak off. That's it. There's the whole thing off. You know what I mean? I was working and everything. And I did report after the monitor was off. I did do several UAs after the monitor was off.
And so when was the monitor taken off?
Even that gentleman,
No, when was the monitor removed? Does anyone know?
I can tell that, I really don't know, man.
Defense, do you know when the GPS monitor was removed?
I thought it was, it's either August or September.
State, do you know when it was removed? All right, probation, do you?
That was July 9th.
Okay, July 9th. So when it was removed in July 9th, were there any missed appointments, or is the first missed appointment in October? Does anyone know that?
They do it in September 2025, and that UA was negative.
The last UA was on 9/19/2025, and it was negative.
So it appears that something happened October and November. So does anyone know what happened with him for October?
Your Honor, I think he was trying to explain that when he would go in, his officer was, according to him, putting pressure on him to pay these fees. And, you know, my client is a very verbal person, and, you know, I think there was not a meeting of the minds that this court would never revoke somebody for monies. We don't have debtor's prison. But he was getting pressure that he had to pay this money. And he's supporting 2 households in at this time. And he is working. And I want to talk a little bit about work, because he had, when one job would stop, he would get another one in between. He's a painter. So if they didn't have a house to paint, he would go and he worked with another person to be working this entire time to support his children and to support these 2 households. And he does not get subsidy from CPS case. He is the biological dad. He did get custody of his father. And Your Honor, I did go back and look at the sentencing on YouTube, and I couldn't hear everything because I think there was an audio problem. But I think the court had concerns of why he couldn't live with his children. And the concerns were the nature of the offense, and the court wanted to make sure he was not gang affiliated. Those were the 2 things that the court expressed, say, hey, but we can change that. And you did say that. And according to my client, he is not gang affiliated. They did the gang referral of the gang process.
So you're telling me with the tattoo that he has on the top of his head, that's not gang related? Nobody loves San Antonio that much. I mean, I think San Antonio is a great place to stay, obviously, because I'm here, but usually those are gang affiliations.
But did you do your gang evaluation?
Yes, I did. Yes, ma'am. You ordered it under custody, as a matter of fact.
He had to, and that was correct. He had to stay in custody to do his TAP evaluation, and they were going to do the gang affiliation or
Gang affiliation completed?
Check it out. Pleaded on the 15th of May last year, Judge.
And what were the results?
Yeah, they determined there was no affiliation.
That's shocking.
Mhm. And he did whisper to me that he is in,
They do custody.
yeah, so he's not with the gang, with any type of gang in the jail.
All right, state, what are you requesting? All right. This is what the court is going to do. I'm going to give you two choices. There are no other choices. These are your only choices. Do you understand?
Understood.
All right. One, I do note that the state was, not this prosecutor, but the previous prosecutor asked for 4 years deferred. So the court placed you on 5 years deferred adjudication based upon my review of everything. So one, I will revoke you, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Or two, I'll continue you and you're going to be on GPS until further notice, and it'll be GPS for employment only. Which do you prefer?
Can we step back, Your Honor?
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
All right, well, we'll come back and see what they decide. In the meantime, let's go. Where do we want to go? Stevens, let's go back there.
And Mr. Smith has a new case that's just been indicted. I think it's a week or so. And so this one's time is to figure out how to handle both things together, maybe.
Okay, let's see, what we've got here is theft of service, state jail felony, what's new?
Your Honor, he was indicted on a new possession of a controlled substance case.
I know
Just possession of a controlled substance case. So Mr. West is asking if he can have some time to work them out
Give
together.
me the indictment, or can you give me any information about this? Thank you.
Here's the indictment on that case.
I need to go over this other case like Mark, he knows about that. It's a different day, a different time. It's still gonna help us negotiations.
I think I took the deal was, okay.
No, I'm doing. You're doing all making back. I didn't. Can't find any email with
Good.
I don't want to say anything.
A 20. Okay, now I see what's happening. So he's indicted May of 24 for an offense that allegedly occurred January 27th, 2024. State jail felony of theft. Then apparently he's not arrested for a while.
I think that's true now.
Until he gets arrested for the state jail felony of methamphetamine, which occurs on February 12th, 2025 is the allegation of the offense. And that's when he is in, that's the day he finds himself in custody. And he's before a judge the next day on 2/13/25, a year ago. And he's given a $6,000 bond for the theft and $10,000 for the possession of drugs. And you also have a drug patch as a condition upon.
No.
You do. I just ordered it. You're going to have a drug patch. You got 24 hours to get one, 48 hours to get one. But why that wasn't done is beyond me. It's done in every drug case, especially methamphetamine. I don't know what the JP was thinking about. It's not a debate. And the drug, it's a patch. You check it, shows up positive, you'll sit in jail until we can get this done.
Yeah, I see this.
Reset. No more resets. What are we doing today?
Well, Your Honor, like I said, I was on the trying to go over this new case to figure out what's going on, and
What new case is it?
the drug case just got indicted.
We're set for trial on the theft of service, Your Honor. The new case, I provided an offer to Mr. West to work them both out together. He just hasn't had an opportunity to review discovery.
Yeah, but he was
The state's ready on the theft of service if we need to
a
do that.
year ago. He knew that was. Y'all knew that was coming down the pike. He does. Judge DeRuin went methodically and slowly, and he had to post 2 bonds. Well, you had to know that, but all right.
Thank you.
Is this for me? Or
That's my copy. I just let you review it.
how do you?
I can print you one.
Oh, thanks. I don't know.
The 25th. 0129. It might not be. It was until just a record.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
that's me.
No.
You want me to try to find it for you?
No, the indictment's good enough.
That's really all there is.
Yes.
Today, what are you doing today?
I'd ask for a resetting on this,
Why don't y'all go over this before you ask for the resetting?
we're still, we got all,
Okay?
let's go over the discovery and show my client this new case. So we give, I mean, we can even take a short reset, if you want to give us some time, so I can go get discovery my client. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, two,
Okay.
okay.
You reset from her and then, meet me outside.
Reset 2 weeks.
Reset from her.
Thank you.
Give you one available.
Yeah, let's.
All right, let's go back to Judge Boyd's court. It's not the defendant that we left, but she does have a new contestant.
Was it that case? Okay. All right. Sure.
Hello. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 2781 State versus Titus Ramirez. Can I have parties announced?
James Tochi for Mr. Ramirez, Judge.
And are you Mr. Ramirez? All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Titus Ramirez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 2781 for the offense of failure to stop and render aid on August 28, 2023 for a period of 5 years? All right, state, you may proceed.
Number 2, on or about the 25th day of June 2024 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Titus Jeremy Ramirez did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Some of it's not true.
Well, the June 2024 date, is that true or not true?
That's true.
Okay.
2, on or about the 24th day of July 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Titus Jeremy Ramirez did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court / supervision officer or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Violated condition number 2, on or about the 30th day of August 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Titus Jeremy Ramirez did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court, supervision officer, or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
It's true.
The state will waive the remaining.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
The judge stand by pleading true to 2 and 2. The court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 5 years in the prison and up to a $5,000 fine. Do you understand that?
That's right.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 2 and 2?
That's right.
Court will find 2 and 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
State has advocated that you grant speech motion, enter an adjudication of guilt and sentence to 10 years in prison.
And defense, what are you requesting?
Well, Judge, obviously not that. The recommendation, so the court is aware that is being made by probation is to keep them on probation. They have a slew of treatments that they are recommending to the court. I'd be more in line with that, to include SATF and MRT. Mr. Ramirez, this is not very unique, but he's just one of those guys that, stepped off the line and never, ever found his way back.
So why isn't he taking his drug tests?
I asked him the same thing. What happened? He became homeless. He was checking in for a while. I think he had a good, solid beginning to his probation, and then he became homeless. And,
Well, I see that this is the first motion to revoke since he was placed on probation in 2023.
it appears that way. And admittedly, on paper, he does not, look like a great candidate, but being homeless, I can't imagine doing anything in life, especially being on probation. He's more stabilized now. Apparently his parents have accepted him into his home. He tells me that he has been working for the past 8 months. And I asked him, why didn't you come back after that? And of course, it's the trap they all fall in. Once the warrant goes out, they feel like all hope is lost and it doesn't matter. So they just stay away.
All right, any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
He would like treatment. I'll let the court read the summary, but he definitely would be interested in residential treatment. He feels it would help him.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. One, I can revoke you and I'll sentence you to 4 years, or I'll continue you, but you're going to be in inpatient treatment. Which do you prefer?
Inpatient treatment,
All right, the court will deny the motion. Alternate amending conditions to include SATA and portable alcohol monitoring for 1 year. There should be no driving. There should be regular random UAs. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, the court is recommending SATF. However, I see that he has a TAP evaluation scheduled for February 12th, 2026. If the TAP evaluation recommends something more intensive, then we'll go with the TAP recommendation.
Yes, sir.
If they're just recommending supportive outpatient treatment, we're going to go with SATA. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No,
Probation, is there anything else that's needed?
Your Honor.
All right, state your excuse. Thank you. Here's the thing. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, could this potentially result in me being in prison for 5 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. And I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody. If there's an issue, let probation know about it. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court. Do you understand?
yes, I do. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Are the parties ready on Mr. Foz? All right. We're back on the record in 2025 CR 002639. Which do you prefer?
The 2 years.
Okay. So are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, court is going to grant the motion. Revoke. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison. You get credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapons. And there's to be no contact with the complainant. Review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney. Did you understand it? All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Locke, Mr. Kirkland, I'm seeking at the same time because your cases are identical for first appearance purposes. Each of you are accused of violating terms of your state probation. Mr. Locke, you have a no bond warrant signed by the circuit judge. Mr. Kirkland, you have a no bond warrant signed by the circuit judge. I don't know that your warrant has been served, Mr. Kirkland, because the warrant was just signed yesterday afternoon. But I'm going to go ahead and arraign you on it because I want to go ahead and get you a lawyer appointed if you're asking for one. And then they'll get it served to you hopefully today. Mr. Locke, would you like to have an attorney appointed to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kirkland, same question.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent both of you. I need you to listen to Mr. McDaniel. In just a second, we'll see if you have any questions. Mr. McDaniel.
Your Honor, we're going to plead not guilty. I set this in the March 5th court docket, and I advise the attorney from the public defender's office to come by and visit as part of that hearing.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, anything?
Just that Mr. Kirkland's court date will be the 3rd, since the new law violation is a new law felony violation.
And it's already been filed, or he's already on that docket already?
Yeah, so.
Okay. So, Mr. Locke, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Wish you the best. Mr. Kirkland, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Wish you the best, sir. The next case is Christopher Miranda. So, Sergeant Applewhite, in Mr. Miranda's case, there was an outstanding warrant, but the Sheriff's Department system had some issues yesterday. I'm not sure what happened, but Mr. Miranda has a violation of state probation no bond warrant in case 24092. So we need to get that served on him. So, Mr. Miranda, you've got a charge of violation of state probation. We're going to come back to in just a second. Before we get to that, you have a new charge of retail theft. I've read the complaint on the new case. There is probable cause for the new charge. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case. Please listen to Mr. McDaniel.
You talking to me? I already took a plea.
You haven't taken a plea at all. That's what we're here for, to try to resolve it. So listen to Mr. McDaniel, and we'll see if you have any questions in just a moment. Mr. McDaniel?
Your Honor, I've talked to Mr. Miranda. We're going to plead no contest to the charges listed. You understand he'll be sentenced to 6 months in the county jail. We have 1 day jail credit, a $370 fine, reserve on any restitution. He has signed a two-way form, waive his right to jury trial and call witnesses.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor, and I did want to bring to the court's attention, I looked again, there's one review case out there for Walmart. In addition to this one, the extra restitution in that review case is $83.52. We can add that to this plea, and I will decline to file on the review case.
So if he agrees to a civil judgment for an additional $83.52, you will not be filing, you'll be dismissing the other retail theft from Walmart.
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Miranda, did you hear all that?
Yes, sir. Objection.
And any questions about any of that, Mr. Miranda?
83.52.
And is that the plea you would like to enter, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Miranda, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest to 1 count of retail theft, sir. Adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 6 months in jail, court costs and fines of $400. Total restitution of how much?
370 fines.
370 court costs and fines. 83 is not total restitution, though, is it? No, there's restitution in this case too. It was non-resellable product.
Here, I'll add it up right quick.
That wasn't mentioned. Yeah, Mr. McDaniel, did you get restitution in this case?
I didn't get it.
It's in the complaint. It's 145.57 in this case.
I've got a total amount between this and the review case of $229.09.
Civil judgment for $229.09. Mr. Miranda, if that's still what you want to do, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's deal with the violation of probation. Ms. Miranda, I have no idea what will happen with the violation of probation, but if you do get sent to the Department of Corrections, then this is not going to keep you here. You'll go ahead and go and serve this while you're in DOC. I don't know that's going to happen. It may, they may dismiss it for all I know. But you are accused of violating the terms of your probation. You should be served with that warrant today. And I want to get you a lawyer appointed in that case if you want one. Do you want an attorney appointed to represent you in the VOP?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case. Listen to Mr. McDaniel, and we're going to see if you have any questions when he gets through.
Your Honor, we're going to plead not guilty. He has to set this in the March 5th court docket, and there'll be an attorney to come by and visit him for the public defender's office prior to that day.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, anything in Mr. Miranda's VOP case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Miranda, the attorney will see you before your court date. Now, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, sir. Wish you the best.
What's the restitution? 2648 MRV.
What's the total restitution? That's Miranda's cases.
229.09.
That's both?
That's both, yes.
229.09 restitution, civil judgment. And then no bond, arraign, and VOSP. Okay, next case is Travis Smith. Mr. Smith, good morning. You're here for a hold out of Calhoun County. I took a look at the file this morning to see what it was about. It's a 2020 child support matter. It appears to have a purge on it of $2,000. Mr. Miranda, excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, if you make that purge, you're going to be released. If you're not able to make it, you'll go to Calhoun County. And when you get there, you'll go to a 48-hour hearing. It's called a 48-hour hearing. It happens within 2 business days of you getting there. And you will, when you get there, Mr. Smith, the judge is going to ask if you could come up with a lower purge amount. So you can expect that question. You'll get to use the phone today to contact friends or family about that purge amount. To be aware that question is probably coming because the hearing officer may or may not lower it depending upon what you got. Mr. McDaniel?
Judge, there's no objection from this court. I've already sent over an order and I've spoken to the hearing officer and stuff, releasing him. If the court has no objection to that, would ask the jail to maybe go ahead and release him. I got the order sitting there waiting for the judge to sign it now to release him. There's an IDO in place. It's been in place for several years now. He's working and so just want to put that on the record. If not, I can wait for the order to be signed, but if the court has no objection.
Yeah, then those are always tricky because you're dual role as child support, as attorney for the agency. So as attorney for the agency, I know that it's an awkward position for you, but in this case, you're actually both attorney for the agency and his attorney. But the agent, he's been making child support payments regularly. Is that right?
Correct. And I'm not his attorney at all. I don't want to act like I'm not his attorney at all. I'm an agency attorney.
Okay, so he doesn't have local charges. He doesn't have local charges. So you're right. You're not his attorney at all.
I'm not an attorney at all.
So tell me, who have you sent the order to? I don't know whose case it is.
It's a Calhoun County case. I've sent it and I've talked to the hearing officer, Donald Frobe.
Okay. So Mr. Smith, I'm not getting involved in it. It's not my case and I'm not the judge in the case. You wouldn't even be coming to first appearance if it was a Jackson County case. So whatever that judge decides to do, if he wants you held or not, that's up to them. But apparently Mr. McDaniel is trying to get you out because they would rather you be working and paying child support, which it appears you're doing, than being in jail and interrupting that child support that you've been paying. So Mr. McDaniel, I don't really have any authority or desire to involve myself in the Calhoun County case. What you work out with them is fine with me. All right. So Mr. Smith, hopefully you're gonna get out of jail this morning. I wish you the best. Any questions?
No, sir.
Have a good day, sir. After Mr. Smith, we have Angela Myers. Ms. Myers, good morning. Ms. Myers, you're here for one charge of aggravated child abuse and one charge of grand theft. Ms. Myers, I've read the complaint. I think I'm the judge that signed the warrant, ma'am. The aggravated child abuse is a very serious charge, but it's not what it sounds like. It's not as bad as what you think of aggravated child. I think it meets the minimum requirements. There's probable cause for the charge. That's why I signed the warrant. But I am aware that there are no serious injuries alleged. There's allegations of a deadly weapon or a weapon that could cause death or serious bodily injury, that being a belt or some type of excessive punishment is what you're accused of. So Ms. Myers, let me ask you a few questions before I can make a bond or release decision. Obviously, I need to hear from the attorneys. The pretrial release sheet from the jail says you work at Washington Rehabilitation. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you had that job?
Since November 18th, 2025.
November of 18? Wait, did you say November of 18 or November 18th of 25?
25, November 18th, 25.
What did you do before that?
I was working at Econo housekeeping.
Okay. And how long did you have that job?
For like 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
You live in Mariana?
Yes, sir.
And this child that's supposedly the alleged victim of the excessive disciplining, how old is that child?
15.
Does she live full time with you?
Yes, sir. But she goes with her dad on holidays, all holidays and everything basically.
Do you know where she's living now?
She's staying with her father right now.
Okay. As of when? When did that start?
He took on last month on the 29th.
Okay. So the last question I have is I want to make sure that the criminal history I've got is accurate. The criminal history I've been provided shows no prior history. Is that accurate, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see what the attorneys have, and they may have some more information for me. Mr. McDaniel, anything else
We
in
just
Mr.
asked-
Myers' case?
Just ask the court to consider conditional release.
Mr. Mitchell?
I know it's the minimum threshold for aggravated child abuse, like you stated. We would probably be opposed to a conditional release, but not opposed to a lower bond, like maybe treat it as a third-degree felony or something like that. But nonetheless, whatever the court decides, we request no contact with the child involved.
So, Ms. Myers, let me go back and take a look at the complaint. It seems to me the allegations are disciplining with a belt, but not in her below the waist. The allegations are she was struck repeatedly in the head or neck area, I believe. And that was the basis for the charge from law enforcement. So give me this, don't comment on this. I'm just wanting to refresh my memory. Her back and right ear.
Judge, I will bring it to your attention also that DCF and the CPT interview was conducted stating that during those interviews, the victim said that Myers threatened to stab her and threatened her multiple times to spray her with mace.
I do that to my kid all the time, so.
What is John?
That's a joke. That's a joke. That judge, I mean, she's a local. She lives here. She's going to show up for every hearing. The purpose of it is not to, the bond is not. It's just to ensure that they come back to court. And I think a conditional release here would suffice to make sure she comes back to court and answers to these charges. She's clearly got some defenses to this. And with no criminal history, we'd ask the court to consider that conditional release.
I took the phone back to her.
That's all right.
Just seen her yesterday.
Yeah, I think with no criminal history, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on the side of the conditional release with no history with this kind of allegations. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to set your bond and you not be able to post it and be sitting there for weeks and weeks, lose your job, which is certainly possible. So I am going to put a condition of no contact. I'm gonna clarify that more in just a minute. So I'm gonna let you pick, but anytime I offer a conditional release, I give the person a choice because some people prefer a bond. If you want to post a bond, your bond will be $2,500 on each count for a total of $5,000. I am going to offer you a conditional release. You will have the standard conditions of all conditional releases. Plus, you would have a condition of no contact with your daughter for the time being. Now, let me clarify that. If Department of Children and Families is involved and they have some type of safety plan in place, then either myself or Judge Garcia very well may modify that and allow some contact, either supervised or limited or whatever. But right now, for the time being, no contact at all. That means no electronic contact, no telephone contact, no contact at all. But you can pick between the bond and the conditional release, Ms. Myers, primarily because of your lack of criminal history. Ms. Myers, do you have any questions about that choice, ma'am?
No, sir.
And which one do you choose?
Conditional release.
I'm gonna grant you the conditional release. I'm gonna ask the jail to give you a notice for your court date, which should be March the 3rd at 8:30. They're gonna let you give you that notice. They're gonna let you get dressed in your regular clothes. They're gonna bring you to the courthouse because that's where the conditional release office is at. When you get here, you'll meet with Mr. Goodson or Mr. Ham, one of our conditional release officers. Ms. Myers, they'll explain the conditional release to you. They'll give you all the rules in writing. They'll give you a chance to ask questions, ma'am, and then you'll be free to leave. Ms. Myers, if you contact friends or family, you can tell them you can be picked up at the courthouse in 30 to 45 minutes from now. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am. Wish you the best.
So I'm not justifying this in any way, shape, or form, but I'm telling you there's more going on here. I would lay good money on an out-of-control teenager and a mother who just reached her wit's end and broke. And I base that on the fact that she has no criminal history whatsoever prior to this. There's more going on to this. I'll be curious if we see her back, maybe in Judge Garcia's court, and see.
Here, first appearance accused of one count of aggravated battery, Ms. McMahon. There is probable cause in the complaint. And I've looked at your history, ma'am. I think it's from the state of Alabama. You have a lengthy criminal history. So you're I think you're entitled to a bond as far as I can tell. Let me see if the attorneys have any additional information before I address that bond. Mr. McDaniel, anything on behalf of Ms. McMahon?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. McMahon, I'm gonna set your bond at $15,000 cash or surety, ma'am, based largely upon your criminal history. You've got a condition of no contact with alleged victim. So, Ms. McMahon, if you post a bond, you can have, no, well, even if you don't post a bond, I'll see if you have any questions in just a second. But whether you post a bond or not, you have no contact with alleged victim at all. Now, do you have any questions, Ms. McMahon?
Yes, can you get him off of my property?
If he's on your property,
Get
ma'am,
my ID back from him?
if he's on your property, you have to go through a
Yeah,
lawful.
use that.
Yeah, that's probably wise, Mr. McDaniel.
His reflexes are getting better with the mute button.
Charles Coleman. March 3rd. Please give her notice for March 3rd. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Coleman, good morning. You're here because you've been accused of one count of fleeing and attempting to elude law enforcement and one count of driving an unregistered motor vehicle. Mr. Coleman, there is probable cause for the charges. And Mr. Coleman, I looked at your criminal history, which I want to make sure that's accurate. I've got a date of birth of 86. Mr. Coleman, it's very rare to see a 40-year-old with no prior history charged with fleeing and eluding, and there be evidence to support it. So my question is this criminal history I've got accurate? Have you really never been charged with a crime anywhere?
No, sir, and it was the brakes went out on the cars, but it was, I still got.
Don't talk about what you've been accused of. I just want to know if your criminal history is accurate.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, the brakes going out doesn't help you with the speed. It doesn't make the car increase in speed. So
Yes, sir. Same thing.
that's the problem you've got. So I'm not going to give you a conditional release. You're accused of fleeing, at a pretty excessive speed from law enforcement for quite a distance before you stop.
sir.
And I think you hit a tree is what the complaint says.
In my yard.
Let me read this. Given the reference about the brakes, let me read. Yeah, vehicle made a left turn on the Florida street and again accelerated rapidly, reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour in a 35 zone. Yeah, okay. So I think you're entitled to a bond. I'm not going to give you a conditional release for running from law enforcement when there's this evidence against you, but I think you're entitled to a bond. Let me see if the attorneys have any additional information, and then I'll set that bond. Mr. McDaniel, anything?
Your Honor, just said, I think he's employed in the pole barn business, and we just asked for some kind of reasonable bond.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
No, nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman, I'm gonna set your bond at given your lack of history, your bond's gonna be $2,500 cash or surety. You have the right to, there are 2 counts?
Yeah.
No, one of them's not gonna be that. So it's gonna be $2,500 on the fleeing and eluding. And then on the operating an unregistered motor vehicle, I'm gonna give him your ROR. So it's a total bond of $2,500 cash or surety. You have a standard conditions of every bond, which are don't miss any court dates, don't be charged with any new crimes. Mr. Coleman, the jail's going to give you a notice for your felony arraignment date, which will be March the 3rd at 8:30. They'll give you that notice before you leave the jail, and you will get to use the phone in a few minutes. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Have a good day, sir.
That one from yesterday is Caden Rebels.
Thank you. Mr. Rebels, good morning. Mr. Rebels, I saw you yesterday. I set you a bond at first appearance. I believe your father was here. After court, Mr. Mitchell made me aware that apparently I didn't, on the record, put a condition, no contact with the alleged victim. That's an administrative order that's entered in our circuit. I have to do that. There's actually a statute that addresses that. So I told the jail, or I asked the jail, if you didn't post bond, to bring you back up to date, just so I can make sure you understand that. You can have no contact with the alleged victim. Any questions about that, sir?
No, sir.
Have a good day.
You too.
Corporal, that's everything I had on my list. Anything else from the jail this morning?
No, sir.
Mr.
That brings an end to our day with Judge Wade Mercer.
All right, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of Ms. Hudson, Ms. Hudson is respectfully asking the court to impose a period of community control in this manner. matter, Ms. Hudson has accepted responsibility for her conduct through her guilty plea. She's 41 years old, married, and has 4 kids. 3 of those 4 kids are currently residing with their father. Temporary emergency custody was granted as a result of this case. However, Ms. Hudson does have a juvenile court hearing set for early March to address that, the custody situation once this matter has been disposed of.
Where, over here?
Yes, that's correct. Your Honor, Ms. Hudson previously suffered from a heroin addiction. It's something that she's been able to maintain sobriety from for 4.5 years. And as the court's aware, she has previously been charged with child endangering. 2 of those prior charges were a result of her heroin use, which is something that she has conquered and been able to keep at bay. However, as the court aware, she does still struggle with periodic use of other substances. Upon her bond being reinstated in this matter, Your Honor, Ms. Hudson did obtain an alcohol and other drugs assessment through Sparrow Health. She indicated that she has continued to go to Sparrow Health weekly for drug screens and counseling. And if this court were to order that she complete intensive outpatient treatment, they do have that available as well. Ms. Hudson has 59 days of jail time credit in this matter, which gave her a significant amount of time to think about her conduct and how she ended up in this situation, as well as ways to avoid it happening again in the future. And Your Honor, Ms. Hudson is respectfully asking the court to grant community control without additional jail time so that she can tend to the parenting and custody matters.
All right. Ms. Hudson, what do you have to say?
This was a big eye-opening mistake. I've been sober from heroin for 4.5 years, and I guess I became a little complacent with that. So it was probably a good thing that I came in here testing positive, because I don't want there to be any way that I ever risk actually permanently losing my kids, because I care about them a lot, and I do try to put them first. I try to put them first all the time.
It seems like you spent time putting your drug use first.
I did. You're right about that. And this has been very eye-opening, sitting in jail for 57 or 59 days, whatever it was, and having no control over anything. The fact that they were able to go to their dad that never really saw them anyways before that, it really hit hard. And I don't want there to be any way that I permanently lose them, because I care about them a lot. And I feel like I'm one of the only people that does.
So where are they now?
They are with him, but technically with his mother in Chardon at the moment. She's elderly. She can't control them. My one daughter is refusing to go to school weekly, and she can't do anything about it because she's in her 70s and she's not well.
Where is their father?
He is working or never around. I don't know what he does, but he's never there.
Okay. How old are they?
My oldest, who is 15, is actually still with me because she refused to go there. She did not want to go with him. And then the other 3 are 13, 11, and 6.
Okay. And before all this happened, last, July?
Yes, that's correct.
That's when the younger 3 went with him, right?
No, he only took emergency custody of the one, the one that this whole thing involved. And then the other 2, he did not take custody of until like 3 weeks after I was in jail.
So what had been his contact with them prior to this?
He is very in and out. He's not consistent. His parents live half the year in Florida, and they will come back periodically when they're living down there, and he will see them when his parents are around, and he disappears as soon as they go back down to Florida. I think
How long has he been doing that?
Since we have not been together in 2020.
Okay. So those three don't want to be where they are?
They do not. And he doesn't even really seem to want them because we've kind of discussed the custody. Once we saw the magistrate over at juvenile courts, and she said if we can come to an agreement with custody that she would sign off on it, and he's okay with seeing them once a month, which I doubt he'll do, but that's what we'll have in paper.
He's okay with what?
He's okay with only seeing them once a month, like one weekend a month, and then I take them the rest of the time. But I doubt that'll last very long, but it's what will be on paper through the courts.
Well, that's your hope or expectation in March?
Yeah.
March what?
You know, I want to say it's the 11th. I don't know. I was going to actually go over there because I got to pick up some paperwork so that we can work out a schedule.
How come you don't know that date?
We were just there, and I don't know. I didn't have the paperwork in front of me.
Okay, their misery is because of your actions.
Yes.
Not because of his actions.
No, oh, I know. I am aware of that. I know. But I went there a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't going to miss that.
Do you have a drug problem right now?
Right now, no. No.
When did the drug problem stop?
I guess when you put me in jail.
Why were you using cocaine while this case was going on?
We were in the middle of moving, and I have a hard time with motivation when it comes to big things, and like things that are just seem like too much. I get overwhelmed very easily, and I don't know. It's not an excuse, but I just thought that maybe that would help. I don't know.
Well, you say you quit heroin, what, 4.5 years ago?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Why did you quit heroin?
Because I was put in jail.
What?
Because I was put in jail and I didn't want to lose my kids.
Okay. And those were the child endangering charges were directly related to that?
Yes.
The previous ones?
Yes.
How did you stop using heroin?
I experienced a long time of sobriety, and I realized that I did not want to live like that anymore. The day-to-day struggles trying to obtain heroin and get money for it, and I didn't want to live like that anymore.
So when did you start in on the cocaine?
It was probably in September when we moved. It was end of August, beginning of September. And it wasn't
25?
What's that?
Of 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't a very consistent use. I don't know why I thought it helped me,
What led to your decision? And I'm going to assume for the purposes of this conversation that you're being honest with me.
Yes.
Okay. Which drug addicts usually are dishonest.
I understand
and
that, yes.
manipulative, right?
Yeah.
So assuming that you're being honest with me, why did you, after 4 years of not using drugs, what led to the decision to take the cocaine the first time?
Because I was hanging out with somebody that had it.
Who?
What's that?
Who?
A friend of mine that works at a bar in Wickliffe.
Which bar?
It was Kate's Bar.
Ah,
Yeah,
Kate's
sure.
Bar.
Yeah.
It always comes back to Kate's Bar and Giovanni's. Okay. Who is that? Who is your friend?
My friend Brandy.
Brandy?
Yes.
Bartender at Kate's Bar?
Yes.
Why were you hanging around Brandy at Kate's bar?
Because I hadn't seen her in a really long time. And she texted me one day and we hung out and that was it.
Were you drinking at the bar?
A little bit, yes.
What made you think that was a good idea since you're a drug addict?
Because I've drank occasionally and I've been okay with that. I mean, up until making that decision, I can have a few beers and be fine and not need anything the next day. But after doing that, it probably is a different reason why I can't drink. Not necessarily that I'll become addicted to drinking, but it does lead to bad decisions for sure.
So that was in September?
Yes.
And then when's the next time you used it?
I don't know, but the last time I used it was the weekend before I came here for court.
Okay. Well, how many times did you use it in between September and the last time you were here?
Between September and the last time I was here, it was probably maybe 5 times. It wasn't many times.
Did you realize in September when you did it the first time, did you realize that was a really stupid and horrible decision?
At that moment, no, I did not.
Why not?
Because I felt like I said, we were in the middle of moving, and I just felt like it helped me, and I don't know, but.
How did it help you when you were moving?
It gave me a little more energy.
I know, but you were sitting in a bar using it.
Well, that's when the idea came about to use for moving. Because
So
I
did you
used
use
that
it
night at
that
the bar.
day you were at the bar?
What's that?
Did you use it the day you were at the bar?
Yes, I did.
So Brittany's dealing drugs out of the bar?
What's that?
Brittany's dealing drugs out of the bar?
No, but she just had some.
All right. Where did you get it the other 5 times?
There is a guy in Cleveland off of Wayside. I don't know his actual name. I think he goes by Ace.
Ace. That's not Ace from Detroit, is it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, these guys don't give you much information
How
about
did you
them
manage to find Ace?
from a long time ago.
Well, where's Wayside?
It's off of Euclid.
Where?
Off of Euclid Avenue.
Off of Euclid. Where? Around where?
Right into Cleveland, like right when you get into Cleveland. It's a couple streets down.
So how long had it been since you bought anything from Ace?
A long time, years.
Which was what? Heroin?
Yeah.
So how is it that 4 or 5 years later, you were able to contact Ace?
Because I still had that number in my head.
In your head?
Yep. I dialed it every day for years.
So Ace kind of fanned out in cocaine with heroin?
They usually have everything.
Why did you keep going back?
For the cocaine?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a few times. I don't know, because I would have big projects like moving a U-Haul storage unit or moving. It wasn't very many times. It was a few times. It was usually when I came back up here for something.
We're talking about you test positive. In November, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so between sometime in September and November, so a period of 2 months, you used at least 6 times, right?
Probably, yeah.
6, 7 times, at least 7 times. So it's more than once a month that you indicated to the evaluator, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. Well, yeah, I guess because it was in between such a
It's
short
7
period of time,
times
maybe.
in 2 months, at a minimum, 7 times in 2 months, right?
Probably a handful of times, yeah. Could be.
I'm just going on based on what you're telling me. You told me initially November and then 5 other times.
Well, I mean, initially it was September, and then,
Right now.
yeah, probably 6 times.
So the last time you used was in November?
Yes, that's correct.
Why haven't you used since then?
Because I want to prove that I can do this for myself and for my kids and to the court, that I can be out and maintain sobriety, because I want this. I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to go down that path again. I really don't.
I would imagine you don't.
Because it's hell. It's literal hell.
Doesn't seem like a good time.
It's not.
So this move down to Marietta has caused you some anxiety to the point you feel overwhelmed with things, right?
I do suffer from ADHD, and I was refusing to take any Adderall or anything like that for a really long time, and I don't want to.
That's a focus issue, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
And
so this overwhelming issue, do you have some sort of mental health diagnosis that
I have
causes
been
you to
diagnosed with
become-
ADHD, which, yes, it presents as, for a lot of people, that you get overwhelmed by big tasks, and it's hard to start, and procrastination and things like that.
When were you diagnosed with that?
I think it was 2019. It was when I was at Laurelwood. The psychiatrist that I talked to there diagnosed me with ADHD.
All right. And you were at Laurelwood for the heroin stuff,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
Okay, so were you prescribed medication at that point?
She prescribed me Adderall for a short period of time while I was doing IOP there, and then aftercare. And then after, she was unable to prescribe that, and I was...
Why?
Because she was no longer my doctor.
Okay,
If
then-
I wasn't doing IOP or aftercare there, I couldn't.
Okay, so did you go to another doctor then?
It was hard to, no, actually I didn't. I relapsed. And it's hard to find somebody else that might, and I don't necessarily even want to be prescribed Adderall, to be totally honest. But I have not done much therapy when it comes to that issue.
Why not?
I don't know.
Well, you didn't want to, right?
Maybe. I mean, it's not that I didn't necessarily want to. I had a lot on my plate at the time. I have a daughter that has major behavioral and mental illness issues, and a lot of my time has been spent dealing with her.
How do you deal with her?
I've had to take her to therapy.
What are you trying to accomplish?
With her,
Yeah.
I just want her to be happy, and she just never seems happy.
So you think it's important to pursue evaluation treatment for you?
I just don't put myself first.
Okay, now part of her unhappiness is probably
It probably
because of
is
this
my
shit
fault.
going on, right?
I know. I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
So until you cure that, you're not making yourself happy, you're not making anybody else happy in your life.
I've been working on that. I have.
What is this Spiro place you went to?
They do drug and alcohol treatment. I've been going there once a week. They do have IOP.
They concluded you don't need any further treatment?
That's what they said, and I told them, but I've been going there every week, because the first woman I talked to said, she said she'd set up a drug and alcohol screen and an appointment with their doctor there, and she said that would probably be it, because she didn't feel that I had a problem.
Well, did she feel that you didn't have a problem based on what you were telling her?
Yes, that's correct.
So you weren't being truthful with her?
No, I was being truthful with her. I told her it was a couple times.
I don't know how you could, so did you tell her what you told me?
Yes, and I was, to be totally honest, I was surprised, and I have talked to the doctors since then, and I've asked them about IOP. They said that they have it, so I can attend IOP.
How could they conclude that? They don't seem, if that's all accurate, they don't seem like they're very very good at what they do. Not that that matters, because they could be the best at what they do, and if you don't put any effort into it, it doesn't gonna matter.
No,
So. So when's the last time you had a mental health evaluation?
Probably, I mean, I don't know if they would have considered that a mental health evaluation when I went there. I'm not really sure. They asked me a bunch of questions, but it's, I mean, before that, it's been a while.
When are you, how long are you gonna be living in Marietta?
That's gonna be my permanent residence.
Are you working right now?
I actually, I just had a job interview with a company for sales, and they, it's a remote position, and I'm supposed to hear back from them sometime today, and she already told me that I'd probably, if they do hire me, I would start training on Monday.
What kind of, where, what kind of company?
It's called the Weed Man. It's like a lawn thing, and it would just be remote. They're a company that does yard work, or not yard work, but kind of like fertilizing and weed control, and they do that across the country.
You strike me as somebody who's come here, and the goal, once you got here, is to get out of here with as little disruption in your life as possible. I sense that through your evaluation and your statements. If that's your goal, you may temporarily accomplish that goal, but in the long run, you're going to fail, because I'm not sure you're interested in addressing your situation the way it needs to be addressed.
I want to do whatever I need to do to avoid any sort of legal issues. I want to be able to take care of my kids. I want to do.
So whatever, when you say whatever you need to do, what exactly is that?
Any treatment that I need to do. I mean, I'm willing to do IOP. I know that I can do this. I've been sober from heroin for 4.5 years, it was hard, very hard in the beginning.
You know, when you bought that, or when you got that cocaine from Brittany, and when you bought it from Ace, did you get some sort of written guarantee about what you were getting?
No.
Then how did you know what you were getting?
I didn't.
How did you know there wasn't heroin in it?
I didn't know that.
How did you know there wasn't fentanyl in it?
I did not know that.
Okay. But you did it anyway.
I guess it never really crossed my mind, but yeah, I did it.
See, to me, somebody that was hooked on heroin for a long time, which meant fentanyl, essentially.
Yeah.
Would after they stop using it for 4.5 years, that would be the first thing that crosses their mind. But that was a situation of you putting yourself before anybody else, namely your kids.
You're right.
And you doing what exactly you wanted to do, consequences be damned. That's what concerns me about you. Now, could be I'm reading you wrong, I don't know.
I think you are. I mean, because I know I can do this.
Well, time will tell. Because in the long run, it doesn't matter if I'm reading you right or wrong. Okay, you're going to do what you're going to do. And it's going to be either right or it's going to be wrong. So, anything else you want to say?
At this time, no.
Similar?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's clear that the defendant hasn't taken responsibility in this case. She's not been honest. She's not been accountable. She's minimized her behavior, both with her drug use and what happened in this case. She said that she was on autopilot and this was an honest mistake, but she left her 10-year-old daughter in a public place late at night. It wasn't a brief oversight. This was a serious, serious lapse in parental judgment that left her daughter at risk. Her daughter was crying hysterically, scared. She came out of that restaurant. Her mom was gone. And the defendant's story lacked any credibility. She said, I was on autopilot, I just picked up this order, I delivered it, and I went home. But the flock cameras paint a different picture. She was at Maple Grove and State Route 91 in Willoughby at 10:41. At 10:45 p.m., Willoughby Police Department is dispatched. At 10:54, she's at the Willoughby Hills Towers, presumably making her delivery. And again, at 10:59, she's back at Maple Grove Road and State Route 91. There's no flock hits for 37 minutes, and then she shows up in Menor. And she doesn't call the Willoughby police until 11:58 p.m., over an hour after she's left her child. And this isn't the first time that she's endangered her children, as the court is aware. She says she's going to do anything for her kids, but her behavior, her repeated behavior, suggests otherwise. She continues to use drugs, and she continues to endanger her children. She said that she had a drug and alcohol assessment, and they didn't think she needed any treatment. Again, minimizing her drug use and her behavior. Her prior convictions have represented multiple opportunities for intervention and for her to change her behavior, and she still hasn't done it. 2019, she overdosed in front of her kids. 2020, she left her 4 children in the car for over an hour while she was inside BioLife. 2021, again, she overdosed in front of her kids, and the police found syringes that were readily accessible to her children. And in 2023, a neighbor found her 3-year-old son walking in the middle of the road, a half-mile away from her home, with a diaper so full it was hanging off of him and hanging on the ground. And then again, in 2025, she leaves her daughter. She somehow escaped any real accountability for any of these charges. They were all pled down to either misdemeanor child endangering or a criminal trespass charge. And she continues to do these things to her children. So the state is asking the court to impose a sentence in this case that sends a message to the defendant. Enough is enough. Her kids deserve better. For that reason, the state is asking the court impose community control sanctions with significant jail time. Thank you.
All right. Why don't you have a license?
I just haven't had the money to do everything I need to do to get it back.
What do you need to do to get it back?
Well, at this point, since they changed some law, I can now go and pay my fine through the BMV, and I got to take a driver's test and also get an SR22.
Okay. When are you going to do that?
As soon as I can.
Okay. What were you doing hanging around 91 in Maple Grove?
I was doing DoorDash deliveries.
Okay. Well, if there's these flock cameras all over the place, why did it not register anything for 37 minutes when you were in that area?
I don't know.
Were you hanging around the Skylight Inn maybe?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Because I've never been there before and I don't know anybody there.
You know what that place is?
I do, actually. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Just from, I knew a guy that I used to work with. He divorced his wife and he was living there for a while. I've never been there though.
Well, it's a big drug den is what it is. Oh. Makes me think maybe you were hanging around the Skylight Inn.
I was not. I was doing deliveries.
Okay. because it didn't register with you that your 10-year-old was no longer in the car for quite a period of time.
I was doing DoorDash deliveries.
I know you were.
Yeah.
I know you were.
I was not at the Skylight Inn.
All right, I reviewed the pre-sentence report and the evaluation, and I have considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I've listened to Ms. Hudson and counsel. And having considered all the provisions of the applicable statutes in this case, I'm going to place you on community control for a period of 4 years. You're going to serve 89 days in the jail with credit for 59. You have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're going to complete an intensive outpatient drug and alcohol program and follow recommendations. You're going to obtain a mental health evaluation and follow all recommendations. You're to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for prescription medication. Any medication that is prescribed, you're to take only as prescribed. You're going to sign releases so probation can get your records. You're going to attend at least 2 AA or NA meetings per week and obtain a sponsor. You're going to obtain full employment, get a valid driver's license, and pay the cost and supervision fees in this case. Do you understand the terms?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins, any other terms you think are applicable?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Just with the probation, is it going to stay here or do we transfer?
And I'm getting there. Any question about the terms?
So am I doing more jail time then?
Yeah.
No.
All right, if you violate the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, then you face potentially 18 months in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you live in the city of Marietta?
Yes.
What county is that?
Washington.
All right, we're going to transfer this to supervision of Washington County. But I want to make sure, Mr. Tompkins, that we're keeping tabs on this rather than just some half-assed monthly report or whatever they do. Because I want to know if she's actually doing what needs to be done so that she keeps coming in and out of court. Anything further, Ms. Himmeline?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith?
This time, Your Honor.
This is the Louisiana Committee on Parole. In panel today at headquarters on my left is Carolyn Stapleton. To my right, Danny Byrod. My name is Jerry Ledoux. Would the offender please introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number? Y'all are muted still. Okay, try.
My name is Julius Will Jr. My DOC number is 598684.
Mr. Wilt, I'm going to be reading some identifying information into the record, and then we'll be asking you some questions. I find that you're a first-class offender currently serving an 18-year sentence for home invasion. You have a parole eligibility date 6/6/2017. You have a good time date 6/13/2028. A full term date 6/8/2029. Is that information correct according to your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wilt, I'd like to give you the first opportunity to speak to the panel, explain to us why you're currently incarcerated and why you think this would be a good time for us to consider release.
I'd like to say that I failed as a person, a man, and a father. On the night of June 8, 2011, I am fully responsible for committing a home invasion charge on my ex-girlfriend, Jamie, and her 2 children. I violated the privacy of a place that should be a safe place for a family. And it was a cowardly act that I've done. Man, I can't express how remorseful and sorry that I am with the choice that I made that night for what I've done to the family and everybody that I affected making this choice that night. I've changed. I'm no longer that man. I've accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. He's just changed the way I think. He's renewed everything about me, my heart, my focus, the trauma that I've suffered throughout my childhood. I believe I demonstrated throughout my incarceration by respecting the authority of the classifications throughout security, male and female. I haven't got no write-ups through the system, and I'm just a completely changed person.
Okay. So have you served 14 or 15 years?
This June will be 15 years.
Okay. Classification, I'd like to ask, how many days CRTP has he received? I see 905. On his master.
That's what we have.
Okay. So in accumulating that many hours, I'm just trying to go through here. Did you get your GED in 2016, right?
Ma'am.
Pre-release, substance abuse, thinking for a change, moral recognition, anger management, moral compass. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out which ones of those classes did you learn the most from?
Truly, it was trauma healing and post-traumatic stress. Because it taught me about the trauma that I suffered as a young child. And when I went through the alcohol, substance abuse and alcohol class, I wanted to try to figure out what led me to make these choices on my crimes. And it just brought me back to my childhood. And it showed me my triggers and stuff, how I mimicked my father throughout my life.
Okay. Mrs. Stapleton is going to ask you some questions in a minute. I'd like to recognize that you have Jessica Bunstoff, your fiance, join us via Zoom who would like to speak. Is that okay if I call him first?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you would like to go ahead and speak first.
Good morning. My name is Jessica, and I am the fiance of Julius Wilt. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak today. I'm here because I've seen Julius's growth with my own eyes, and I want to share what I know about the man he is today. Julius fully understands the seriousness of the actions that brought him here. He has taken responsibility, and he has spent his time reflecting and working hard to change. I'm not here to excuse his past. I'm here because I've watched him commit himself to becoming a better man. His faith has been a major part of that change. Julius has become a deeply spiritual man, and following Jesus has given him purpose, humility, and direction. We thank God for his growth, his commitment, and the strength he has gained through this journey. While incarcerated, Julius has made the most of every opportunity being there. He earned his GED, completed courses to better himself, and even stepped into mentorship roles to help others. That says a lot about his character. He wants to lift people up, not bring them down. Julius also has a family who supports him wholeheartedly. We believe in him because we see the work he has done. If he is granted parole, he will come home to a stable, loving environment. He already has a job lined up, and we have talked about routines and boundaries to help him stay focused and grounded. He will not be doing this alone. What gives me confidence in Julius is not his words, but the consistency of his actions. He is patient, thoughtful, and committed to living a responsible, rehabilitated life. I truly believe he is ready to continue this progress outside. Thank you for listening to my perspective. I know your decision is important, and I appreciate the care you put into it. I believe Julius has earned the chance to show that he is not the man he once was, and I am ready to support him in every step of the way.
Thank you, Jessica. Now we have Victoria Wilt Navarro, your daughter, who would like to speak.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me speak today. My name is Victoria. I'm the daughter of Julius. Over the last 15 years, I've definitely seen a huge growth in my dad. He is definitely a rehabilitated man and a changed man, and I'm really excited to be able to have this new opportunity with him when he gets released, whether that be now or in the next few years. I know his faith has definitely been a huge part of his transformation and his change as a man. He has shown severe remorse for his decisions that he made in his younger years, and I know that he deeply regrets the decisions that he did make at those times. I'm excited for him to be able to get out into the world again, live a normal life, have a job, get married, and be a part of that life. So I think that this is an appropriate time for him to return to a functioning member of society. Thank you.
And now I'd like to ask the warden. Warden, would you like to make a statement regarding this offender?
So I know, Mr. Wilt has been here for 15 years, that right up in that time frame. He was a mentor in our transition programs for a while until he, backed out to go. He's in HVAC school right now currently. And, yeah, he has been no issues since he's been incarcerated.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you have had 0 write-ups during your time of incarceration. We also have Mr. Randall Meyer with the Jefferson Parish DA's office.
Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson Parish. We're opposed to his request at this time. He has an extensive history of domestic abuse. The facts of this particular case are pretty horrific. And I won't get into those. That y'all have those of the record in the record. I know you saw those. But he had 2 charges for home invasion, 2 separate cases. One he got they were one day apart, 6/8 of 11 and 6/9 of 11, according to the court records. And this case number is related to the 24th JDC case number 113730, and there's another one 113731, which was June 9th of 2011, and he was guilty of aggravated assault in that case. I note that his DOC mental health evaluation is concerning with his diagnoses and the fact it indicates he missed at least 5 appointments during that time. It doesn't state whether he made those up or, what the facts around missing those appointments are. And I'm concerned with his programming. He did a number of programs back in 2015. He had anger management, Inside Out Dad, 2017 and all. He had some, and then he really had nothing after that until the 100 hours in 2021. He did take victim accountability in 21, 1 or 2 other programs. With the domestic, the long history of the domestic violence, and I'm concerned with, the only thing he's had relating to his anger issues was completed in 2015 and nothing more. So for those reasons, we're opposed.
I've got a question, Randy.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was looking back over this, I see when we go back to, we've got the 2011 case, but we also have the case that goes back to 2001, I believe. Let's see, and that's where we say the long history of domestic violence to 2000. And on that, there was, it says a charge of attempted first degree murder. Do you know anything about that, 2002? And then prior to that, we've got stalking, intimidation, violation of protective orders. Are we talking about a different, well, obviously, because this other one, they were only in a relationship for 3 years. So prior to that, seems like we have this other very serious case that goes all the way back to 2000 with a litany of crimes ending in an attempted first degree murder charges and aggravated assault.
Yes, ma'am. And that is some of the issues that I have. Let me see if I can find, I'm not sure what happened with, I think, though they must have been refused for some reason. The only charges of record in the clerk's office, which I'm looking at as we speak, he had some worthless check charges. In 2000, those are worthless check charges. And I did not see anything related to, I saw he was charged with that, but I didn't see anything, and I still don't see anything in our record that deals with that.
Because I mean, it's got almost the same type of charges, remain after being forbidden, and very serious, like you're saying. This is a long history of domestic violence behavior, and very serious domestic violence behavior. And I don't understand why it didn't lead to anything. That's why I was wondering, was he on probation?
Okay, yeah. Well, it showed he was billed at aggravated assault.
Yeah.
On that attempted murder charge, 2 counts. He pled guilty and he got 4 months in parish prison on that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know the facts surrounding that case though.
Pretty lightweight, huh?
Yeah.
And then I saw where on a DV in the synopsis that he lunged at the police officers with the knife. Was that this last one?
Yes, ma'am.
That was this last one. Okay, let me ask you something else. I'm curious on our end. Okay, any victim like this victim, when crime victims law, that they're not supposed to have any contact with their victim. So when he gets out, is there a way for this to be a permanent protective order for these victims of this last incident?
Well,
they had to ask for it. That's what we just talked.
I don't. I guess you'd have to check with the board's counsel on how far y'all can prevent any type of contact. I don't know if that can go past his full term date, but there is a stay away order until May 24th of 2030.
I saw that.
Yeah, so at least until 2030, if he gets near the victim, he can be revoked. Well, obviously he could be revoked if y'all were to grant him parole for that, but he also could face additional charges by violating that stay away order.
Yeah, because I mean, my thing to an offender is stay away from your victim, period. Yeah. That's my thought as a person on this board, that you're to have no contact with your victim, and this person is whoever is the victim. And so that's, I just wanted to ask you about that because I was very curious about the 2000 case and the 2002, because all of these seem to be a history of domestic violence that are very serious cases. All right, that's all. Thank you, Randy, very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask and see what we've got going on. Can you tell me, sir, what was in your mind that day that you did this? Because you do have a history of domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am. Like I had stated previously about, I didn't get my treatment when I was out there throughout my childhood. Every time I started treatment at the beginning when I was like 13 years old. My parents were poor. I come from two parents that were molested that didn't that didn't give me any type of guidance. I'm not taking away anything from the crimes that I committed. I'm fully responsible. I mean, I'm totally remorseful, but I haven't gotten the treatment until I got here at Hunt's, talking to the psychiatrists, social workers, and everything. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, borderline personality disorder, paranoia. But as of today, I have none of those issues. I have been cleared from the psychiatrist. I have got off of every medication that I've been on because I've come to the terms to understand what led me to react these ways, what triggered me. I watched my father be abusive to my mother throughout my entire life. He's tried taking his life by ODing, cutting himself. And like I said, I mimicked him. And I never understood this. Like when I went to drinking and drugs, I've always like taken classes. And like the DA spoke about, I've actually facilitated anger management classes about self-evaluation and to how to pursue things and catch your triggers before you even act out on certain things. But I'm remorseful. I'm no longer that person that committed these crimes. And concerning the stay away order to the victim, she has written me and I never responded back to her. I showed that I was not going to violate any type of law.
Because you're right about that. The order is against you. And so if a victim does something like that, which they shouldn't, but you are the one that the order is against. So you did the right thing there. I'm very glad to hear you did that. I wanted to ask some more questions. So you said that you're on medication for borderline personality disorder and bipolar. That you can speak.
No, I was. I mean, ever since I left, when I was in Jefferson Parish, went to St. Charles Parish, I was on several different types of medication. I mean, all I was doing with my issues that I've suffered throughout my life from drugs and alcohol, my trauma was just being pushed down. And even being on medication at the institution, I never discovered what my issues were because they were just like, I couldn't starve what was inside me. I mean, because I was just suppressing everything. I mean, to come to really realize what I've done to people. I mean, even with the issue with the police officers, that should have never happened. I mean, I am very remorseful. I put myself in situations and made the stupidest of choices. But I promise you, I am not the man that y'all see on the police reports. I mean, I respect what the DA said about me and how people can view me for the actions that I've done throughout my life. But I promise you, I will be a productive person out there. And I'm willing to even be a part of some type of group to speak to men and women about issues that they suffer and that you can overcome these things. I mean, Christ has changed my life dramatically. I am no longer that man that y'all see.
Okay, I wanted to ask about that also. Thank you, sir.
I have no questions.
Mr. Will, since the assistant DA brought up, what have you been doing since 2022? What's occupying your time while you're there in the last couple of years?
Well, I had several surgeries here at Hunt's too. So that kind of kept me like bedridden for a little while. And I live in a bed storm. We take classes every day. On Monday and Tuesday, I'm a part of a squad where several men get around a table and we talk about things that happen in our life, like from responsible thinking and addiction recovery, relapse, personal growth. I'm a part of a program that, it's from taking mentees to become mentors using the core values of the military.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions. Secretary, you're prepared, Beck?
Yes, I am. Sir, I want to compliment you. I saw all the classes that you've taken. So, so you've done a very good job with trying to better yourself and learn. I'm very happy about that. But you do have a significant criminal history concerning domestic violence, and it goes back a good ways. Let me ask you, in all your classes, and maybe I missed it, did you take a DVOP class, a domestic violence offender program class, which is different from an anger management class? Anything like that?
Man, man, I'm in victim impact class right now, coming to terms with your crime that you committed and the impact that you caused on family.
Okay, all right. Well, I was just wondering if you had that.
I've been
Today,
enrolled-
sir, pardon, go ahead.
I've enrolled into a domestic victim impact class out there in anger management and substance abuse and behavior misconduct for when I'm released. I've already enrolled in it.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's very good to know. Okay, today, sir, based upon your criminal history, I'm not going to be able to grant your parole today, but I want you to keep up the good work that you've already started. It's excellent.
Mr. Parole?
I'm going to concur with Ms. Stapleton for the same reasons and the strong law enforcement opposition. But keep up the good.
And my vote would be to grant parole. I don't feel like at this time, with the mindset and the classes you've taken, that you present a significant threat to public safety. You've served almost 85% of your sentence. Your rehabilitation has been excellent. Your conduct, 0 write-ups. If somebody has an anger management problem, I think we would see it on the inside. Warden, I don't know if that's true or not, but typically that shows itself. And you do have good reentry plans. So my vote would be to grant. But on a vote of 2-1, your request for parole has been denied. And that concludes our hearing with Mr. Wilt. And the time is now 9:51, and we are wrapping up at Elaine Hunt. Thank you, staff.